Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver Daniel? So why not every man? Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church of Shreveport. We're glad to have you here with us this Sunday morning. It's a beautiful day in Shreveport today. We are still totally virtual. And again, I will tell you that we do this live so that we are with you as much as we can be in real time and in real spirit. This is a church built on covenant rather than creed. So we come together around how we will behave with one another and who we want to try to live out being in the world rather than our beliefs about one thing or another. We don't have to believe alike to love alike. So whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, if you care to be here with us in mutually respectful environment, you are always welcome. And we're really glad to have you be part of this with us. I miss you all and really look forward to when we can be back together. I guess we will move on to the announcements we do early in the service so that you can know what's going on and try to stay plugged in as much as possible. And I will welcome our board president, Bennett.
Hey, good morning, and I'm Bennett Upton. I'm the board president here, and I've got a couple of announcements. One is our giveaway. The plate is for this month is Volunteers for Youth Justice. You should be able to select an option to make a donation online to pick out our collection plate, and that should donate straight over to Volunteers for Youth Justice. Or you can send a check and put it in the notes line that you want it to go to that, and it will make its way over to them. They're doing a lot of really great work. I don't want to get into every little detail about what they do, but Volunteers for Youth Justice is an excellent organization. We've been supporting them for a very long time, and for good reason. Also, I would like for you to, well, you could thank our volunteer of the month, Thea Jackson, or better yet, you could go hang out with her because she's constantly at the Highland Blessing dinner. And so if you'd like to help out with that, then you'll also get to hang out with Thea Jackson, who is also just a wonderful person. And you would, if you haven't met her yet, then you should. So that's a great way to get to know some folks and some really great people down there doing very good work. Also, if you have ideas on regathering, because we are still, maybe not in the majority of churches for having everything online right now, but we're trying to be safe and we're trying to keep everybody included. And there's a lot to actually really consider when we try and regather. We want to do that soon. But we're trying to do that safely. We're trying to do that respectfully and inclusively. There's a whole lot of things. If you have ideas on that, hit us up, put it in the chat. Or if you want to help plan the gala, we've got that going on as well. So anyway, there's just a lot going on right now, and glad to see you here today and hope to hear from you. I'm going to pass it over to Susan. Thank you.
Good morning. I'll try to be as dramatic as my transitional sound indicates I will be. Thank you so much, Bennett, and thank you, Reverend Barbara. I am happy also to see everyone here this morning, or at least to know that you are here, to see you in the comments. And a couple of things. First of all, we will have family religious education this afternoon at the regular time at 1 o'clock. And we have kind of a cool story today that is sort of a way of looking at misinformation. It's called Facts versus Opinions versus Robots. It's a cool little book that I found, and so I hope that you and your kids will join us. And also, we're going to get the high schools together not this Tuesday, but the next Tuesday, the 27th at 6 p.m. For some to talk about end of the year plans, also to talk about some denominational opportunities that are available for youth, and just to kind of touch base and see how everybody's doing before the summer comes and we possibly scatter to the winds. So I look forward to that. Couple of things I want to tell you about the legislative session. You know, the legislature is in session, and as Molly Ivins used to say, no one is safe. I think that's just as true, if not more so, in Louisiana as in Texas. But at any rate, two bills particularly that I want to talk about to you today. There will be more. But today, watch for House Bill 196. It's sponsored by Edmund Jordan of Baton Rouge, and it actually outlaws slavery and involuntary servitude because, of course, with the federal 13th Amendment, the exception to the Emancipation Proclamation was if you were incarcerated, and inmates are working for sometimes 2 cents a day. And so this is to outlaw that and to somehow put in place some kind of a wage system. And so I encourage you to look more into that. It's been referred to the Committee on Civil Law and Procedure. It is not on their agenda for this Monday. But just keep an eye on that one. And the other one is House Bill 318. Should be easy to remember because it's our area code. And it will hurt the 318 and all the area codes in Louisiana. But it is dealing with the industrial tax exemption. It purports to enshrine the governor's reforms, but it really doesn't because it leaves out the governor's approval, which has been a part of the reforms, and it leaves out the most important thing, which is local control, so that local taxing bodies will no longer have the option to accept or turn down an industrial tax exemption. So that is a really bad bill, at least as it stands. We're hoping to at least get it amended, and because it will be a constitutional amendment if it goes forward, if it passes. So keep an eye on that one, 196 and 318. And I believe that is all I have today. Thank you.
Thanks, folks. We had building and grounds, not yesterday, but last Saturday, and there were a couple of people that showed up and did a lot of work by themselves. I want to thank them. And I also want to encourage you to pay attention to stuff like that. We still have this building, and we still need to care for it when we can, whether it's with one another or in our free time. So I invite you, if you feel up for it, to come out and work sometimes. I wanted to let you know that during our Unitarian Universalist Association General Assembly, which is always the last full week of June, it's the one time each year that thousands of Unitarian Universalists from across the country and around the world gather. There's one event that always stands out, even if others do as well, but it's the Ware Lecture. Through the years, the Ware Lecture has been given by Martin Luther King Jr., Mary Oliver, Kurt Vonnegut, Shirley Chisholm. In 1934, it was Reinhold Niebuhr. We've had May Sarton, Jesse Jackson, Karen Armstrong, Winona LaDuke, Sister Simone Campbell, Krista Tippett, Julian Bond, Van Jones. I mean, the list is really impressive. And this year, our Ware Lecture will be delivered by voting rights and human rights champion from Georgia, Stacey Abrams. And formerly homeless returning citizen Desmond Meade, who became the president of Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. I very much hope you will try to join online for this, unfortunately, again, fully virtual General Assembly. Next year, however, it will be in Portland, I believe. But because it's online, it's less expensive and it's a whole lot more accessible, and it's always worth the time to participate. So if you will, start planning now to be a part of that the last week of June. Now, if you'll let yourself take a few breaths and relax into being exactly where you are. Take a few deep, easy breaths. Let this space that we create together by being here together hold you in our shared presence and in our shared love. Before the power and source of all that is, rising from origins far past our known history and the limits of our understanding, we assemble. In the permeating light of that glorious mystery beyond our naming, our souls come together. We are joined in the spirit of truth by the oneness of existence, the spirit of life that moves in us and through us, in which we move and have our being. This is a congregation that gathers in faith, not faith in one religion or one God or any one way. We gather in faith of the power of diversity, the power of love, the power of hope of a world transformed by our care. We gather in faith that requires, not in a faith that requires perfection or unfailing rightness in one another. Rather, a faith in our shared human imperfection. We may learn to stumble and fall together. Faith that we will help one another to rise and to try again and again. We're Unitarian Universalists.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing. Show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hand. This is the church of the loving heart.
Thank you very much, Lily Loggins. Each month, the International Council of Unitarians and Universalists puts out a chalice lighting, and this is their lighting for this month. The light of the sun does not lift the shadows that have fallen on humanity the world over. We relight our chalice flame to reignite a spirit of radical optimism, knowing it takes us all living what matters to dispel those who would divide us. All manner of things will be well if we make them well. May our free religious communities embody the right relationships our world so desperately needs. I am delighted to invite the Villarreals to lead our unison affirmation. You're muted. Juan and Virginia, you need to unmute, sweet.
Sorry. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other.
Thank you very much.
I will rise with all my daughters. I will rise against my foes. I will rise with all the mothers.
That video comes from a Unitarian Universalist church in Ohio. You may have recognized someone from our congregation among the people singing. Miss Susan was there and got us permission to use that video today. So we thank her and thank them. We rise because that is who we are. The call to respond tugs at us, heart and soul and mind and body. We see things that matter going against what is loving, compassionate, true. We feel the urgency of those realities pressing against our own world and the lives of the people we love and the people we care about, whether they're friends or strangers. I had the pleasure this week to be on a Zoom meeting with representatives from across our state who have been networking and investing their own time, energy, resources, and assisting immigrants who are being released from detention. Even the attorneys are not clear on why some of these releases are happening now and why these people weren't released before. But when they get out, they have to have help often to connect with the people that are even there for them. But on this call, I got to see our own Unitarian Universalist Service Committee working hard to financially support those efforts here in our state and to make access to that financial support as uncomplicated as possible. The current executive director of that same Unitarian Universalist Service Committee was ordained by this congregation a number of years ago. Her name is Mary Catherine Mourn, and you may notice her name as the lyricist on hymns we do from time to time. But while she was not on the call, I was proud to lift up our connection with the greater organization and our, the contributions we can make. I was witnessing something that made a great deal of difference in the lives of many people, and these are very important life-changing groups that the UUSC is trying to support. The monies that they give are not tied up in red tape the way that they would be from a lot of other organizations, and it was wonderful to get to see the people who represent us doing the work on a broad scale, even though we continue, and a lot of the members of this congregation continue to work locally to make a difference in all those efforts and many others. I feel incredibly honored by the opportunity to represent this church. I know many of you are actively engaged in other tasks of service, though I may not have the privilege of witnessing those. I can still carry a sense of belonging to something worthwhile, something good, a community of individuals doing all we can to make this world better and safer for all people. I'm proud to be with you and proud to be one of you. We rise to the call. We rise to the occasion because that is who we are. We also rise in part because things don't sit right with us. We're uncomfortable, anxious, restless. Because we have some compelling urge to do something. And we'll talk about that a little later in the service. Right now, I'd like to invite Miss Susan to share our story.
Thank you, Reverend Barbara. When my son, who is 28 now, was only 5 years old, he said something incredibly wise. He said, "You know what, Mom? It's always the present. Even when I'm 6, it'll be right now." I told that to a friend who said, "Think of all the adults who never quite wrap their heads around that one." It is always the present. And all we have is this very moment, right here, right now. Another wise person I have known in my life was my mom. And when I was a little girl, I would often talk about how I couldn't wait for something. I can't wait till it's Christmas, till it's Friday, till school is out for the summer, till I grow up. I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. And my mom would say, "You're wishing your life away." And I would think, no, I'm just wishing to get to the good parts. Right now, it's really easy to think about all the good parts as being in the future, when we can be back together and when so many of the people we love, to be with so many of the people we love, and we can have food and play games and be together in person. But try to remember to stop, to take a breath, to look up, to look down, to look around, to take another breath, and find the good parts of right now, right this very minute. Notice something beautiful. Listen to the people in your household, or call a close friend and ask, "How are you doing?" And then really listen to the answer. Read something you love. Be present with the words. Walk around in the story. Walk around outside. Play in the dirt. Plant something and celebrate every single stage of its growth. Resist the overwhelm that can happen when you look into the future and wonder, what's going to happen and what can I do? Write a letter. Call your representative. Even when you're 6 or 16 or 66 or 106, it'll be right now. That's it.
I saw a young man fall for no clear cause at all. Justice calls, justice calls. I don't pretend to know how deep these matters go. Justice calls, justice calls. Till people are free, till people are free, till people are free, we will rise. Till people are free, till people are free, till people are free, we will rise. Another young one down, same fear in every town. Justice calls, justice calls. Trust is a two-way street till we walk equally. Justice calls, justice calls. Till people are free, people are free, till people are free, we will rise. Till people are free, till people are free, till the people are free, we will rise.
Good morning. For today's meditation, let yourself find a comfortable position, your body balanced and your spine straight. Begin with a deep, comfortable breath, shifting your attention to your heart space, and imagine breathing in and out of your heart. Allow your breath to deepen and slow. Allow your breath to be soft and kind. In today's moment of mindfulness and presence, reflect. All around me, I see injustice and inequity. I hear the voice of suffering in myself, my community, and my world. My heart is stirred. I am called to act, and I shall rise. I am eager to engage life and build the bridges to a world of hope and beauty. Yet first I pause. In this sacred moment, I go deep within to examine the fabric of my life, the many thoughts and messages, memories and meanings, patterns of learning and stories that come together now, in this moment, in this breath. I know I must go forward with vision unclouded and heart unburdened. I must be conscious and free of an ancient legacy of belief that only nurtures the seeds of sorrow and separation in me and in my world. In the deepest center of my heart, I seek out the time-worn messages of separation, the walls that shut down the generosity of my spirit. I uproot them, I release them, I let them go. In their place, I embrace the interdependence and interbeing that celebrates the power and beauty of beloved community. I seek out old messages of powerlessness, belief that my voice cannot be heard and that the steps I take will make no difference. I uproot them, I release them, I let them go. Mine is the power of truth and the power of vision now awakening in the human spirit. I seek out old messages of judgment, belief in the stories that life's challenges are matters of blame and punishment. I release those messages and I choose a new beginning where life's challenges are invitations to learn the way of kindness and compassion. I seek out old messages of fear, beliefs that would imprison me in the limitations of the past. I release them and respond instead with the audacious openness of trust, hearing the voice of new creation seeking to be born. Awake and clear, I now move forward toward the world we long to give our children. And my journey begins with this breath now. Breathing in, I touch the great vision. Breathing out, I take my next step with kindness and with wisdom.
We rise to the call. We rise to the occasions and perceived needs because that's who we are. So my cousin just called and asked if I would loan her $300 to help her pay her rent. I'm generally pretty willing to help friends and family as much as I can. I told her to give me some time to think about it and I'd call her back. Before I called her back, my aunt called and told me that my cousin was lying and not to give her money. She goes on to say that the real reason my cousin wanted the $300 was to get her boyfriend out of jail so that she could be under the same roof as him for his birthday. I thought about it for a minute and decided to give her the $300 because we all need a little help at times. A couple of hours later, I get a call from the county jail. It was my cousin crying, screaming, and asking why I gave her counterfeit money. My response, so you and your boyfriend could be under the same roof for his birthday. Not a true story. But maybe compassion is sometimes shown in unexpected ways. Maybe we get too used to thinking about things in certain ways, habituated to it, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But as I mentioned before, we also rise in part because things don't sit right with us. We're uncomfortable, anxious, and restless because we have some compelling urge to do something. So not all of the underlying motivation is necessarily so honorable. Yes, we need to rise. But the compulsion to respond when things make us uncomfortable can, of course, have noble intentions and be woven in with deep caring for others and perhaps apprehension regarding the safety of this situation or that for ourselves and others. But they can also be the result of wanting to change our underlying discomfort. Not feeling good. Renowned Tibetan Buddhist nun Pema Chodron says there's a deep-seated compulsion to act. That there is a background hum of uneasiness, boredom, and restlessness that's really almost primordial. It's a fundamental underlying human insecurity. When we are ill at ease, we get triggered to do something about it. The trigger is something that Pema calls the itch or getting hooked. The Tibetan word for this is shenpa, S-H-E-N-P-A, and it's sometimes translated as attachment, but attachment apparently doesn't describe the half of it. The three responses that we have for these itches or these triggers in Tibetan Buddhism, the ways that we are inclined to respond to those uncomfortable feelings are either to numb out through one means or another, to find ourselves craving things and seeking pleasure, or to become kind of aggressive, whether it's getting even or obsessing or raging towards ourselves or somebody else or blaming. These offer short-term symptom relief, but they don't address the root of the problem. Pema presents an analogy, a condition called scabies that I am not familiar with, but it sounds awful. And so I decided to change my reference for one I was more familiar with. We're compelled to scratch because there's an itch. The underlying feeling is uncomfortable, but the more we scratch it, the more harm it does, and the more it spreads. The more, not in metaphorical terms, well, not the same metaphor anyway, but the more we emotionally shut down and get cut off from the very creative flow that gives us a sense of being alive and gives us the answers we need to come up with solutions that may not have been thought of before. Our physical body clenches and tightens when we're responding to one of those itches just because it's uncomfortable. The mindfulness teacher, Tara Brach, offers an easy to remember acronym that gives us tools for more choices than to simply react or have to do something to that discomfort. Her model uses the word RAIN, R-A-I-N. The R stands for recognize, trying to blend both her teachings and those with Pema Chodron. I used the word realize. But the first step is to recognize what's happening, to notice whatever thoughts, emotions, and sensations are arising in the moment, right here and right now, as it were, by asking, what's happening inside of me right now? We can perhaps focus our attention on what's immediate. What is? Then the A of RAIN stands for allowing. Letting those feelings and sensations or thoughts be what they are without judging them, without trying to control or manipulate them, or having a knee-jerk response to do something to change it. Even when the last thing we want to do is feel the rawness of fear or helplessness, the intention to let be helps us pause and return to being in the present. Tara says, perhaps whispering yes or this too can encourage us to give space for what's going on inside us. Pema would tell us to sit with it, that excruciatingly uncomfortable feeling. And she tells a story about one such instance when she sat for hours with one particular uncomfortable feeling and had a real breakthrough. But when we let it be what it is, often it will change, shift. We allow those thoughts and feelings to be. Next, the I, which stands for investigating your experience with gentle attention, calls us not to a mental exercise, Tara Brach teaches when the emotion is strong, being curious, bringing curious, gentle attention to it, gives us the capacity to respond with the things that we actually need. It's not analyzing, but rather inquiring Where are these things in our body? Making direct contact with the felt sense of being stuck or being vulnerable, and identifying how it is in our physical beings we carry that feeling. The N in rain is for nurturing with kindness. This allows us to respond with what that stuck or vulnerable part of us needs: acceptance, care, compassion, forgiveness, understanding, and we send those feelings inwardly. And subsequently, it frees us up, frees up our creativity. Like a clearing that follows a nice rain. There's an opening, a healing realization. Then simply pause and rest in what you're experiencing. When the habituated story of self is washed away, it leaves a sense of aliveness and immediacy and freedom. When those storylines we repeat over and over or totally avoid hearing at all get displaced by openness, when we have new freedom, new choices. When we do the same things over and over, whether it's saying a harsh word or a kind one, we strengthen that behavior in ourselves. Kindness and forgiveness of ourselves empowers us for kindness and forgiveness toward others. We know this. Learning to notice our triggers prevents us from being the slave of those triggers. Thoughts make good servants, but bad masters. One of the first breakthroughs for some people in mindfulness training, and I'm sorry, but I don't know who this quote comes from, is I don't have to believe my thoughts. And also, my thoughts are not me. Thoughts are present, but not true. They are not reality. Many times I've found myself listening to world-famous spiritual teachers and of mindfulness and meditation and philosophy and the intersection of philosophy and science, and found myself asking, what does all this sound like or feel like? What meaning does it hold for people who are hurting, being targeted, who are in real danger, or who are struggling for survival, and the right simply to exist, to be a human being, treated like any other human being? What I come back to over and over, and maybe it's also a naive position, but it's that there must be value even there for these ideas, because I look at people like the late Senator John Lewis, who literally had his head bashed in on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, but remained an outspoken, soft-spoken beacon for justice and civil rights and human rights. His manner was not one of brashness or aggressiveness, but it was nonetheless an incredibly effective one. I think of women I've known here in Shreveport who lived through the brutality of George Dartois era, whose faces and spirits shine in spite of the utterly horrifying reality that they had experienced. They're not bitter. They're not shut down. The late local pastor, Harry Blake, presented a gentle manner. He spoke with soft tones. Even though, like John Lewis, he literally had his head battered by the local police. They found something deeper to hold them. They became water repellent to the floods of hatred and held the light when and where they could. They had ways of doing it I want so desperately to learn. They were not perfect, but in what seems to have been steady, consistent, grounded presence, each of them changed a great deal for the good. So we rise because that's what we're called to do. That's who we are. Even then, we realize some of our motivation is hampering us rather than enhancing our efforts. So we begin the worthwhile, slow work of befriending our internal state. Excuse me. Upon doing that work, we're able to return to the work for which we have such passion, with deeper presence, stronger capacity to endure the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune without losing the name of action. We rise, and then we reign. Recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. Then we return, and from there, drink more deeply of all we value that is good and true, righteous, worthy, and just. We return to more love, to love more wholly, more fully, all that we love, and care in more effective ways for all that we care for. We rise, realize, and return. As we extinguish the chalice, I want to share words from Barbara Peskin. Because of those who came before us, we are. In spite of their failings, we believe. Because of and in spite of the horizons of their vision, we too dream. Let us go remembering to praise, to live in the moment, to love mightily, and to bow to the mystery. So be it. Ashe. Amen. Blessed be. Go in peace.